In Namibia, we currently face a gap between the theory and the practical skills of social work students. UNAM Simulation Lab will be a very important vehicle in combating social issues and enhancing social work students. It is time to enhance the skills, it is time to invest in our social workers, and it is time to address the social skills at the best level that we know Namibia can.
Historically in Namibia, initially when you look at the black communities, most people who were trained were social workers. The role of a psychologist and social worker is supposed to provide expertise in mental health, and because the two professions are supposed to be sister professions that are supposed to be complementary in order to provide a holistic service to clients, linking clients to resources in the community, taking care of their social needs, and the other one actually taking care of the emotional needs. And where there's a breakdown in terms of emotional or social needs, then we come in. Social workers come in to take care of the social needs, as well as the psychologists to take care of the emotional needs when there's a breakdown. So I don't see these two professions as mutually exclusive. I see them as services that are supposed to be provided holistically by working as a complementary team.
You know, if I look at the ratio of social workers in Namibia, the ratio was 1 social worker to 13,000 children in Namibia, which is quite a lot. And that was only children to social workers. We also provide services to adults as well, to the elderly as well. So it's quite broad. Social workers will never be enough. So that is definitely one challenge. And I also believe that social workers many times are limited in terms of providing a holistic full package of services. So currently in Namibia there's a limit number of places of safety for women found, women, men and boys found in need of protection.
I had amazing social workers when I was a teenager. You know, those two ladies, I'll never forget them. They actually gave me a reason to live. I went through all this pain and trauma from 6 and up until the age of 12. And so a lot of things happened. I was suicidal. I was very suicidal. As a child, they kept me going. And they also referred me to a psychiatrist.
So as psychiatrists, the main role is to treat. There's a clinical responsibility to treat people who have got mental illnesses or mental disorders, for them to be mental well, in order for them to be able to deal with the normal stresses of life, to realize their own potential, their own abilities, to work fruitfully and productively, and also to contribute to their own community. But the other role is the teaching role, teaching responsibility. Psychiatrists, we have the teaching responsibility because now we need to empower the younger ones. We need to empower those who want to become psychiatrists so that, you know, people, we grow, we go, we get old. We want now the generations to come also to continue and take over. So we have that role of teaching. We teach medical students, we teach social work students, we teach occupational therapists, we teach nursing students and other occupational therapists and other people who are one way or another, their fields have the component of mental health. Then psychiatrists, we have that role of teaching.
Once you leave the university, you're almost on your own to try and find internships, and sometimes we don't have enough internship sites, and therefore the students would finish their degrees and sit at home.
What we do here at the University of Namibia, in order to prepare our graduates for tomorrow, I think I would like to somewhat complement the department in what it does. Because when you benchmark with what other universities are doing, when it comes to the issue of community practice and the actual practice that we give the students, I think in Southern Africa, University of Namibia ranks highly. With the simulation lab, what is happening now is we'll have observation rooms where we'll have cameras to record what the students are actually doing, and then there'll be a one-way mirror to observe. So the thematic area that the simulation lab will focus on are gender-based violence and teenage pregnancies. And I think if we look at what's currently happening when it comes to well-being related issues in Namibia, every day we open the newspaper, there's an issue related to social ills. And then the question now is, how are us, the academic institutions, training the trainer? And with this increase in the social ills that we are having in Namibia, we now need to also enhance the way we are producing the social worker for Namibia. So the Skills Lab will give us an opportunity for us to somewhat prepare the student better for the world of work.
As students still learning, it will help us with practicing real life situations in the lab before I go and implement it with the clients. With the simulation lab, I believe I can rehearse as much as I want. I can put a certain theory into practice in the lab before I go to the community members. And it will also create a platform where we can get guidance from other students, from the lecturers, on how to improve the implementation of certain theories.
You know, when you're a student, it's all roses, it's all flowers. But when you come into the real world, you have to use what you have. You have to make sure that you are fast. So I would have worked on my creative skills. I would have worked on like improvising when something is not available. Like, you know, there are certain things that were taught in school. They're right, but because of the environments that we are operating in, we have to go an extra mile. So I'm mostly on the creative skills. So now if I don't have this, how do I link my client to the next available services? It's also this community mapping. In the environment where I am, I believe as a social worker, the first thing you could do is to have that community mapping of knowing who are my stakeholders. When I need what, where do I go? So I believe that this lab would now equip the students to join the working environment. And with my experience over years, it's not bad at all. You just need to come in, study your environment, study the culture. It's very important to study the culture of the people around you, their ways of doing things, and you're good to go.
It's a fantastic environment that we can create for our students, where when they get into the real world outside, they are very much equipped and trained and knowledgeable about what to do under what circumstances. It's also a safe environment for our students, where they can relax more and be more proactive in their thought processes. So it's an ideal situation for our students to have such a facility within our university.
Social workers play a really big role. They play a very big role. In my own life, in my experience, I've seen that. They helped me to embrace myself, to love myself.
Social workers are the superheroes of society in the sense that they rescue us from our houses and make sure that we are living in safe environment. Regain Trust is a civil society organization that focuses on support and psychosocial support and services for victims and survivors of gender-based violence and sexual gender-based violence.